So we'll start with that popping T. In which, excuse me, in which circumstances, in which situations do we actually pop the T? Do we have that ta ta, which is the most common sound among students? Everybody usually pops the T. And the reason, quick side note, the reason students usually pop the T is because they learn English through books and reading it first. So, in most languages, probably not all languages, but in most languages, you learn the pronunciation of a language by reading it because the way you see a letter, that's the way you pronounce it. The way you see a group of letters, that's the way you pronounce it. The way you see a word, that's how you pronounce it. In English, it doesn't work that way, not for pronunciation. If you're going to practice grammar, vocabulary, word order, sentence structure, all that, read it. That's fine. But when it comes to pronunciation, you have to focus on your ear, not on your eyes, what you see. So that's why many students they pop that T, ta ta, because they see a T, they know it's pronounced T, and they want to pop it. But it doesn't work that way in American English most of the time. So when do we pop that T? Let's go over it here. So one, in the beginning of a word, T is T. So whenever you have that T in the very beginning of a word, pop it like you would normally do it. Ted took 10 tomatoes, or tomatoes, if you want. Tomato, tomato. It doesn't matter. Ted took 10 tomatoes. I have a t, 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 t. Number two, with a stressed T and ST, TS, TR, CT, LT, and sometimes NT combinations. T is a T sound. T. For example, he was content with the contract. So stress T is what we saw a moment ago. When the intonation, the T falls on the highest point of the intonation, that's the stress T. You stress it, you give it, you emphasize it. That's when we pop it, right? And certain combinations of letters like ST, TS, TR, CT, LT, sometimes NT. Then, like contract, right? So listen to the intonation. He was content. Where's the intonation? On the tent. Content. So we pop that T. With the contract. Contract. But in this case, it's the NT combination and the CT combination. That's why we pop the T. All right. And number three, the third instance when we pop the T. T replaces D in the past tense. So regular ED sounds, verbs like walked, jumped, listened, these ED sounds in the past tense after an unvoiced consonant sound like F, K, P, S, C, H, S, H, T, H. I'm missing X. I have to include it. I didn't put it here. But if you're taking notes, there should be an X in here as well. Also X, except T. For example, the verb laugh. Notice that the GH is an F sound. So the ED, because it's an F sound, which is over here, the F is here, because it's an F sound, the ED, you pop it like a T. Laughed. Laughed. I laughed for hours. I have to hear that sound. Pick. The K is over here. K. The past, picked. That popping T. Picked. Hope. The last sound is p, p. The last letter is E in the verb when it's in simple present. It's E, but the E is silent. We're focusing on the sound. So it's hope, the p sound, P. So the past is hoped, hoped. And that was a little bit tricky for many students because you have to combine the p with the t, pt, pt, hoped, hoped, right? Then we have race. It's a C, but it's pronounced like an S. So the ED is a popping T. Raced. Little tricky as well because you have to combine the s with the t, t, t. Raced. Raced. Watch. CH. The past. Watched. Now it's even trickier for many students. You have to combine the ch, 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 ch with the t, 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 t. Put them together. Ch, t, watched, watched. But I do have to hear that popping T. Same thing with wash. That one's a little bit easier, but wash with sh, and the T. Washed, washed. Or unearthed, unearthed. And again, I'm missing the X, but you can think of the verb, let me think, fix, like to fix a car. The last letter is X, so the ED is going to be a T, fixed. I fixed, kst, kst. I fixed the car, right? And then when it's a D sound, not a T, but a D sound, it would be words like halved, rigged, nabbed, raised, judged, garaged, smoothed. Notice I'm not popping the T's there. Certain exceptions: wicked, naked, crooked, etc. These are the id sounds. But basically, these are the three instances where we pop the T. You have to pop that T a little bit. So very simple. Let's practice popping that T like you would normally do. So this is going to be super easy. Let's go one by one then. Let's start with Paulo, I suppose. Yeah, let's go with Paulo. Go
Oh,
ahead and read these five sentences for me.
all right. It took Tim 10 times to try that telephone.
Hmm.
Stop touching Ted's toes.
Okay.
Turn toward Stella and study her contract together.
Okay.
Control your tears.
Hmm.
It's Tommy's turn to tell the teacher the truth.
Good. No problem. That's easy. Quick note: you'll see this in together. You'll see that I highlighted the T. Ignore that. That's a mistake. It shouldn't be in red. So only the first T there. All right. Good. Let's
All right.
go with Sankit. Go ahead and give it a shot from number one.
It it took them 10 times to try the telephone.
Good.
Stop touching Ted's toes.
Good.
Turn toward Stella and study her contract together.
Okay.
Control your tears.
Good.
It's Tommy's turn to tell the teacher the truth.
Good. Very good. The vowel sound. Ooh. Truth. Truth. But
True. Okay.
exactly. Good. But we can work on the vowel sounds a bit later. But yeah, the truth. Good. Perfect. No problem. Let's go with Vamsi. Go ahead and give it a shot from the number one.
Yeah, it took him 10 times to try the telephone.
Good.
Stop touching Ted's toes.
Good.
Turn towards Stella and and study her contract together.
Good.
Control your tears.
Good.
It's Tommy's turn to tell the teacher the
Uh-huh.
truth.
Exactly. No problem. Very good. Let's go with Salvador.
Okay, it took Tim 10 times to try the telephone, stop touching Ted's toes,
Mhm.
turn toward Stella and study her contract together, control your tears. It's Tommy's turn to tell the teacher the truth.
No problem. Perfect, guys. Easy peasy. Now, again, this is the easy one because this is how you would normally pronounce the T's. So that's easy, right? Now, let me get out of here. I don't know why it's not getting out. There we go. Now, we're going to go into rule number two. And here's where it gets interesting. We're going to be looking at the flap T a little bit. All right. So, what is the flap T? I remember that I mentioned the, one second, let me adjust the size a little bit here so it's legible. There we go. Okay. So remember that the flap T in the position of your mouth, it's the same thing. It's the same thing as the popping T, the exact same thing. The only difference is you're not releasing so much air from your mouth. It's a gentle release. If I say ta, that's a very harsh, rough release. Ta, ta. If I say ra, ra, I'm putting my tongue in the exact same position as T, but I'm releasing it in a much more gentle way. Now, it's easier for some nationalities than others to think of it. So, for example, if Spanish is your native language, then you can think of it like an R in your language, right? It's like when you say anger, I have a lot of anger, which is ira, ira, right? So it's that ra, ra, ra. That's the sound it makes if your language is Spanish. If your language is not Spanish, or it doesn't have that flap T sound in your language, think of it like the letter D, da da da, like day or dog, but much softer release. Da, day, dog. It's like your tongue hardly touches the roof of your mouth, right? That's the flap T. Now, the excuse me, the when do we have that flap T? When do we pronounce it like that? Like da, 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 da. It's basically when the T goes between two vowels. We have vowel, T, vowel again. Vowel sound. Not the vowel letter necessarily, but the sound of a vowel. All right. So, for example, we have the tongue twister here, and if I pop the T, it's going to sound like Betty, Bata, bit of, better, butter. But we don't want that. We want a soft flap T. So it would be Betty bought a bit of better butter. We have a whole bunch of T's in that tongue twister, but we don't pronounce any of them. It's always a flap T. Now notice where it's located. Yeah, Betty is between E and E, two vowel sounds. Bada is between ah and Bada, the T is between these two sounds. Bit of, the T is between I and Better is between E and is actually a vowel sound. It's a semi-vowel. We'll get into that in another lesson. But it's a vowel sound, the Butter, the and the Butter. So it always goes between two vowel sounds. Then we have the second tongue twister. Pat oughta sit on a lap. Pat oughta sit on a lap. Right, now there's an extra little pronunciation tip that I'm going to give you guys to help you sound much more natural and allow you to flow the words a little bit better. We are going to create sound groups, which we'll get into in another lesson as well. Sound groups are basically when we connect two or more words together in one long sound, one long word. So here we have Betty, standalone word, Betty. But then the bot and the that's one sound group. That's one sound unit. So we create just one sound, bada. So you don't want to separate it. You don't want to say bot, no, one sound, bada. Bit and of, also one sound, bit of, bit of. And then better is alone, it's all by itself. Butter, all by itself. So it sounds like Betty, bada, bit of, better, butter. Same thing down here. Pat oughta, so 1, 2, 3 words all together. Pat oughta, and then sit on an also one sound unit. Sit on a lap. Pat oughta, sit on a lap. Right? Now I'm throwing several things at you here. We're focusing on the flap T. I'm also kind of sneaking in these word connections as well, which we'll get into in another lesson. So let's try these two tongue twisters here real quick. Let's go with Paulo. Sorry, I'm starting with you. You're the leader here. You're the guinea pig. So let's start
Okay.
with the first tongue twister. Betty bought a bit of better butter. Be very conscious of what you're doing with your tongue.
All right. Betty bought a bit of better butter.
Not bad. One more time.
Betty bought a bit of better butter.
Okay, that's not too bad. What about the second tongue twister there?
All right. Mm. Par, parare,
So we have
paraura,
3 sounds, right? 3 sounds. Padada, sit on
par,
a lap.
parara,
Uh-huh.
sirana, lap.
Not bad. One more time. Padada,
Parora,
sit on a
sirana,
lap.
lap.
Exactly. All together, one last time.
Parora, sirana, lap.
Much better. Very good. Excellent. Let's go with Sankit. Sankit. Sorry if I'm butchering your name. I'm trying my best. So Sankit,
No, no, it's all good.
go ahead and try the first one.
Okay. Berry, butter, bit of better, butter.
Excellent. Try one more time for me.
Berry, butter, bitter, better, butter.
Excellent. Try the second one, the second tongue twister.
Bad order, sit on a lap.
Excellent. One last time.
Bad order, sit on a lap.
Excellent. Very good. Let's go with Vamsi. Give it a shot.
Betty bought a bit of better butter.
One more time.
Betty bought a bit of a better butter.
All good except for the last word. I'm hearing too much
Butter.
of a popping sound here. So butter, soft, gentle sound.
Butter.
Uh-huh. Good. So one more time.
Betty bought a bit of a better butter.
Much better. Very good. One last time. The same one. Betty bought a bit of better butter.
Betty bought a bit of better butter.
Better. Good. Not bad. Try the second one.
I would sit on a lap.
Excellent. One more time.
I would sit on a lap.
Much better. Careful with the T on sit. Sit
Yeah,
on.
sit
Sit
on.
on.
Sit on it. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Very good. Sit on it. Exactly. Not bad. Pretty good. Let's go with Salvador.
Okay, the first one is Betty bought a bit of better butter.
Good.
And the second one is Parora sit on a lap.
Good. Repeat the second one again.
Parora sit on a lap.
Exactly. Very good. Good. Okay. So be careful to take those micro pauses between each sound group, because then the opposite happens. So we'll get into word connections and chunking and sound groups in another lesson. But the idea is to try to stay away from the pronouncing every word individually. Pat, ought to, sit on a lap, because then you sound robotic, and we don't want that. But vice versa, you don't want run-on sentences either. Or, Pat ought to sit on a lap, and then I don't understand what you're saying because it's all smushed together. We have to have those micro pauses in the right place. Pat oughta sit on a lap. You hear those little tiny micro pauses, also very important. But good, guys.